Captain, 2 plus 2 equals 4, even in this part of the galaxy. Hi, I'm John McNeil, and this is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. That famous saying was uttered by Mr. Spock in Star Trek, the original series, right? So the Enterprise was faced with a quandary, and Captain Kirk and crew didn't quite know how to resolve it. And Mr. Spock, being the man of logic, reminded everyone that 2 plus 2 equals 4, even in that part of the galaxy. Now, what does this all have to do with cryptocurrency, you ask? Well, for the last several years, and especially up until recently, earlier this winter, the investors of planet Earth had begun to believe that wealth and value can be yanked out of thin air, right? And that, in fact, 2 plus 2 do not necessarily need to equal 4 as it relates to cryptocurrencies. So you had individuals and corporations basically just making up cryptocurrencies and floating them out there on the market, and people were pouring their money into it, thinking that they were of some kind of value, even when these cryptos have no earnings, they have no operations, they do not pay a dividend, they are basically just nothing, right? And even if you look at it as an asset, like for perhaps gold or silver, one of the precious metals, or even an industrial metal like copper or lead or something like that, no, there's nothing you can do with cryptocurrency, right? It has no utility value. It is nothing. And this went on for some period of time, but the spring and summer and now fall of 2022 has made it quite clear to anyone who is in any way interested in this nonsense that, in fact, this stuff has no value. And by putting your money in them or the companies that peddle them, you will end up on the, shall we say, wrong side of the ledger, as they say in accounting. Now, you may be saying to yourself, but wait, Brother John, aren't you a part of the Trash to Treasure Crypto Challenge? Yes. And Brother Man will admit he kind of bought into the scheme, but only slightly, right? I only invested a minuscule portion of my overall portfolio in this nonsense, more as an experiment to see where it would go than any belief that this was any kind of real kind of wealth building material, right? And the lessons that I have learned over the last 11 months or so has been extraordinarily painful. I've lost about 63% of the money that I've put into this nonsense, and that may not be the end of it. Now, fortunately, as of today, the cryptocurrencies that I acquired, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygram, Uniswap, some Shiba Inu, some others, they have been cut by 2/3 or so, roughly. But the exchange that I used, Gemini, is still liquid as of right now, right? So whereas Celsius and FTX and others, Binance, they seem to be headed to that big crypto graveyard in the sky, Gemini, for now, remains liquid. So even the 1/3 of my wealth that I have left, I think is safe. I hope. But with that said, it is a tremendously small really minuscule portion of my overall portfolio. Even if I lost it entirely, I wouldn't really lose any sleep over it. But still, this has to be a lesson to everyone. Do not believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. Do your research, examine it. If this stuff, if the numbers do not add up, if there isn't real value here, then do not put your money there. And it's really quite that simple. Again, 2 plus 2 equals 4, even in the crypto markets, right? So do not, under any circumstances, invest, and we'll use the word invest in air quotes. Do not invest your money in something that does not have earnings, that does not have intrinsic value, that does not have utility value, that does not pay a dividend. It is nothing, right? And you will find, as P.T. Barnum said, a fool and his money are soon parted. Well, I'm not saying that you would necessarily be a fool for doing it, but it would be a foolish act to do that. And yes, you will be parted from your money, as many millions of persons who invested in crypto are finding out right now. Now, I think, looking at this on a historical level, I think the worst thing that happened during this entire period, and I'm just saying this as a person who watches social media and examine things, is the events surrounding Pro the Doge. Now, who's Pro the Doge, you ask? Well, there's this guy who invested his life savings, over $300,000, into this cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, a couple of years ago. Now, Dogecoin then spiked up tremendously in value, going from a few pennies up to as much as 70 cents a coin at one point. And all of a sudden, Pro the Doge's $300,000+ became almost 4 million, as a matter of fact. And he's the toast of the town. He's this fabulous millionaire. He's this guy that made this bet on Dogecoin cryptocurrency, and he's now a multi-millionaire, right? That was the absolute worst thing that could have ever happened, because now you have people out there who are trying to be the next Pro the Doge, right? And they are pouring their life savings into this crap, and it would just all end very, very badly. And in fact, it has. Do these cryptocurrencies have any future? Well, there are still persons out there who believe that cryptocurrencies can be a hedge against inflation. It can be they can retain their value even as physical fiat currencies decline in value because of reckless government spending. The problem is 2022 and 2021 have proven that that's just not the case. So inflation has been raging wild. Fiat currencies have in fact lost a considerable amount of their purchasing power, but the cryptocurrencies have lost much more of their value, right? So if it were a hedge against inflation that you were holding these things, then there's no utility value there. That's what I've discovered, right? And if for people who look at them as just trading instruments, just something that, well, they can acquire and then maybe sell real quickly and make a little bit of profit off of it that way, maybe it has value in that range. Me personally, I would prefer to go from Houston to, for example, Lake Charles, Louisiana. They have some great casinos there, and you can play at the craps or the blackjack table, have a drink or two, and have much more fun doing it that way than this cryptocurrency nonsense. Just my opinion. Remember, friends, 2 plus 2 equals 4, even in this part of the galaxy. All right. So I hope you found this interesting, informative. If so, hit that thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Leave me a comment, please. Let me know your cryptocurrency experience. Yes, I want to hear it. I know you're probably hurting like the brother man is, but let me know. And also subscribe. Please subscribe to Invest Strong. That adds up at any time and at any place. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much, and good blessings.